Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video, we're going to talk about a subject that I think is really important, and I do believe that the developers from Raid need to address this a little bit because it kind of changes the way that, the game works, or maybe this is just the way that the game was supposed to work, and it's, I don't know, the natural progress of things. But you guys let me know in the comments down below if you watch this video if you agree or if you disagree with me on the way that things are going. So I made like a week or two ago, I made a video talking about, number one priorities of what you should focus on in the game to get the best rewards. And they were like Clan Boss, Doom Tower, Curse City, Faction Wars, and then, after that, Arena, Dungeons, and whatnot. So that was something that's really important for everybody to know to try and get the best rewards possible. Now, the subject that I want to cover today is about, what you should do with your stamina, and basically the fact that the dungeons have become irrelevant. Before I jump into this, it's funny that Hell Hades just posted a video on the same subject I was recording myself. I was, sorry, I was preparing to record this video, and then I saw that, an interesting title on Hell Hades. He made a video on pretty much the same thing I'm going to talk about, but he put a different spin to it. I'm going to link his video in the description, the pinned comment. Make sure you go check that one out as well. But again, what am I talking about? I've been almost a minute and a half and you don't know what I'm talking about. Well, basically, I'm talking about the dungeons and the gear that they are dropping. And I believe that basically you should stop wasting your energy on these dungeons, because if you've been playing at least for something like a year or more, you should be at a point where you're pretty much outgrowing the gear sets from the dungeons, because there's so many other ways that you can get good gear sets in this game without having to use your stamina to farm on that one. So first thing, let's just jump into the dungeons, see the gear sets that there are available, and I'm gonna tell you my opinion of, you don't need it, or what's the better improvements, and why I'm coming to why I came to this conclusion. So the number one dungeon that most people farm at the beginning, because it's one of the easiest, is gonna be Dragon. Okay, so again, this video is specifically for people that have been playing for more than like 6 months, a year, because you're gonna start, progressing and getting to open the other areas that I'm gonna be talking about. Okay, so number one set in the Dragon's Lair that appears here is the accuracy set. Gives us a flat 40 accuracy. Well, this one's pretty much useless because we have a better version of this one, which is the perception set that we get from the Forge. So this one becomes irrelevant. Then we have the speed set, which used to be the number one gear set that you wanted from this dungeon. And honestly, this one can still be good, if you get really lucky with rolls. But again, even for this one, there's improvements that have been released in the Righteous set, then there's the Supersonic set and whatnot, so this one's again now really good. Lifesteal, apart from the first 2-3 months of the game, you don't really need it. Destroy, I don't know, there's no area in the game that you need Destroy anymore. There's the Scarab King that you would benefit with this one, maybe some niche faction war bosses, but again, you need a gear set and then that's it. Toxic set, again, pretty niche. You might use 1-2 gear sets of Toxic, then stop. Frost, honestly, it's just worse. You'd rather grab the Doom Tower one, which is Frostbite. Daze is useless, Avenging is useless, and then Stalwart, again, early game a little bit and maybe some niche uses, but again, pretty much not good. So anything that I'm looking here, the only one that might be a good one that you might want is Speed. That's about it. That's dungeon number one, and most of them are useless. Now let's move over to dungeon number two, the Ice Column, which used to be the worst one, but has gone up in ranks. I made a video a while back explaining why Ice Column is more important than Dragon for endgame, but again, life set is useless because you get resilience. Offense set is useless. Defense set, like these three ones are useless. Critical rate, again, pretty much useless. Resistance could be useful, but again, we have the Doom Tower set that we get from Baumel. Retaliation has some niche uses in some block damage comps, some arena champs maybe. And then we come to the bottom ones, which these are the ones that can be interesting, but even for these ones, we have replacements. So we have the Reflex set, which, reduces the skill cooldown, but we already have a better version that was released recently. So this one pretty much becomes irrelevant. Curse set is the only one that we do not have a replacement for. It's basically the one that has a 50% chance to land a Hex debuff. This one's good for Hydra or any other areas where you would need a Curse set. And then Provoke is niche. You want maybe 1-2 sets for Hydra, and that's about it. So another one, a full dungeons where pretty much just one set is good and then two to get a couple of sets, and that's about it. Then we move over to the Fire Knight. Same principle, Furying useless, Curing useless. Immunity used to be really good, but we have Stone Skin now, this one's useless. Shield set can be interesting, but then there's bolster from the Forge Pass, even if you don't buy it. Again, this one's pretty much useless. Crit damage could be good as a filler set, but then we have the one in the... It's what's it called? We have the one in the clan shop that's better. Frenzy useless. Regen, again, this is one of the ones that, yeah, you might want a lot of for the faction wars or like for solo comps. Regen's good, but at the same time, we have a different version, which is Guardian, that does almost the same thing. Heals you by 10%, but also brings you damage mitigation. Stun set, again, one of the ones that's pretty niche and can be really useful for some faction wars and stuff, so stun's still good. Savage, well, the thing with Savage is we have not only one, but two, or actually even three replacements. So again, Savage is now really good. Third dungeon, where just regen and stun are the ones that you care about, everything else is pretty much irrelevant. And then the last one's gonna be Spider, which you're still gonna want Spider to farm, but most of the time you farm Spider to try and get silver, okay? Yeah, you're gonna still want accessories, but again, there's more areas where you get better stuff. So let me show you exactly the areas that I'm talking about. Well, first of all, we have here in the Forge. Perception, the one that I said is better than accuracy. You get it from the... What's it called? You get this one from Faction Wars, which is really important to do. Then if you move down, we have Fatal, that, you know, this one can replace Offense set. Frostbite, the one that can be better because it's a 2-piece set, than the Frost set. Then Bloodthirst, an improved version of Lifesteal. Then we have Guardian, the one that I said could replace Regen, you know, where absorbs 10% damage, but heals himself by 10%. Then Fortitude, the one that replaces the Resistance set. Lethal, the improved version of Savage, just gotta farm Doom Tower, ignores the, defense and gives you crit rate. Instinct, another one that's, you know, almost as good, it gives you speed and 20% ignore defense. Bolster, the improved shield set. Define, the improved stalwart. Righteous, the one that I said could replace speed set, you know, it's not as good, you're missing 2% per 2 set pieces, but still good. And then the Slayer, that's another one of those good damage sets. And then if we move over to the Curse City, we see that in Curse City we get those chests of gear that I cannot see there, but I can show you here. Well, you're gonna start getting from there the Merciless set, which basically replaces the Reflex. You don't need to farm Ice Column. Then replaces the Savage. Okay, because, you know, 6-piece just gives you no defense, and also gives you a chance to, you know, get accessories if you beat certain stages. So again, this one's just a lot better than Savage set. And then Supersonic is another one that's kind of like, you know, almost the same as the super no, wait, why am I still looking at Merciless? Wrong one. Let me go to Supersonic. Okay, I was like, where's the speed? Like I said, so this one, Supersonic, that can just become a better set when it comes to swapping the speed set. So pretty much those dungeons are not as relevant anymore, and there's no point for you to waste your stamina on those ones when you can get this. Then we also have, like I said, we have the what is it, Protection and Stone Skin. Well, Stone Skin is just a better version of Immunity, because, you know, it's only a 50% chance to be removed, whereas Immunity just pretty much gets removed if somebody has enough accuracy. And then it also brings you some cool other stats and uses. And then we have the Protection, which pretty much, this one's another variation of the speed set, because look at this, speed, plus again, brings you protected buffs, brings you more damage if you have 9p. So, you know, dungeons in this game, I guess kind of like Hell Hades said, the gear dungeons have become obsolete, they become useless. Instead of doing that though, what I think most people should actually do, obviously if you get to a high enough stage, that's why I said, you know, you have to be playing for at least a year to progress your account as much, but instead of wasting your stamina on doing dungeons that give you gear, which are going to be useless most of the time and they sell for very little, you'd rather just farm Sand Devil, because this one, if you get the right Ascension, it pretty much guarantees you the stat that you want. Not just RNG of, do I get the right piece? Do I get the right upgrades and all of that? So you're better off farming Sand Devil or the Phantom Shogun for upgrading your accessories. But I feel like when it comes to the end game, the number one priority dungeon that everybody should farm, and I think everybody is farming, is the Sand Devil, because the stat improvement that you can get from this one by getting these, you know, the oils to upgrade is just huge. And especially if you can do 25, you have the chance to just keep resetting up until you get the stuff that you want, and just makes it amazing. Like, I'll show you an example. This one pretty much guarantees me plus 12 speed. If I want to have this, I would have to roll a double speed extra, you know, on another piece, or like 1.5 if you get 6, then you get good rolls. But then you also get stuff like, you know, on a glove, you get crit rate, crit damage, defense percent. Okay, that one I have to, why do I have defense percent? I have to reroll that for my rotos, but you kind of get the gist. It's basically they're so much better. Look at this. I have a 6-piece Merciless plus Cruel on her, and look at the stats I get. Not sure I could get this in Savage, you know. So that's kind of thing. I'm really curious what I'm not sure exactly what the best way would be to fix this. Like Hell Hades had some really good points. Again, make sure go check out this video. But what do you guys think? What do you think they should do in order to make these dungeons relevant again? Because right now I'm only farming these dungeons when there's a fusion or there's some good rewards in the tournaments, and that's about it, because they give me nothing. Like, it's been over 2 years since I got some like game-changing speed set pieces on from the Dragon's Den. Even though I farmed during 2 and 3 times chances of getting speed, still did not get improvement. So it's kind of like, what's the point? It's just useless. I'd rather just go farm Sand Devil, save up all my energy, and then just get all the good stuff from Faction Wars, from Doom Tower, and then from the Cursed City, and obviously Hydra, like I mentioned, and just ignore dungeons. Is that a good thing for the game? I'm not sure. You guys let me know what do you think. But anyway, we're gonna leave it at this for today, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.